watching with that fuck off. But my name is Alan Roberts, Every Damn Day Fitness, and I have the very, very extreme pleasure of sitting here and interviewing Casey King from the show Family by That Time. Casey, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up? I'm Casey. I don't know how to. There we go. Hey, what's up?
Getting used to left and right, right?
Yeah, it's very disorienting.
All right, so Casey, when we're just gonna jump in. When you were on the show, run everybody through like how you got to be on the show, why you thought it was a good idea, like the process of the before part of the show. Like how, first of all, how did if you want to run through how you got to be in the state where you needed to be on the show.
Okay.
The whole 9 yards. Okay.
So I was always overweight. I was born 12 pounds and some odd ounces. I was a big kid.
Poor mother.
Yeah. I apologize to her profusely. So I was a big kid and I wasn't like an overweight like infant or like child, but I was chubby. And then middle school a little bigger, high school a little bigger. I lost a little bit of weight because I got like some popularity and I just wanted to look better. Then after school, I worked at a bunch of restaurants, got bigger and bigger. I injured my ankle while living with my father. There's some other stuff that was through the show with my mom and moving out of that house. They paying her to kick me out, but whatever. So I was living with my dad and I was sleeping at my mom's house one night to work the next morning, rolled off the bed in my old room and the metal bed frame in that bed went through my ankle. Not all the way, but it cut it open pretty badly. And at that time I was probably like 475, maybe 525. And it just, when you get that kind of injury, they tell you to stay off your foot. So I went home to my dad's, got stitches, and didn't move for like months. But we ate really bad food for like consecutive amount of time. And I'll fully admit I'm a big baby when it comes to that stuff. I want to be happy. I liked food. I was overweight. Eating was fun. So I would just crave these terrible things. And I would order our meals and I just got bigger and bigger. Next thing, this was all like 7 years ago. And then one day, one day I couldn't get off the ground because I was 845 pounds. Yeah. I actually had to get my cousin Ed and a friend of his that was a firefighter. They came to the house, and not everybody knows this, and I'm not proud of it, but they had to help me get up with a bed sheet behind my back. And then I got off the ground. My aunt looked at me and said I should go to the emergency room. We did. I found out I had sleep apnea. And they put me on a machine. I fell asleep. I was in the hospital for about 2.5 to 3 weeks. I lost 70 pounds there. We didn't even know how big I was. I laid in one of the bariatric beds, and the doctor came in and said, that's the amount your son weighs, just so you know. And it said 845, 835. I lost a lot of weight there. They sent me home with a CPAP. I started to go swimming and started to walk at the gym. Sorry if I'm long-winded, but okay, cool. So I started to go to the gym, started to eat better, and I lost weight naturally. I got from 845 and I got to like, we'll say 540, just doing that in like a year and a half, just swimming, walking in the gym, eating better. But then basically, as a lot of things go, you just stop losing weight. Like I just wasn't willing to do the next step. Like I wasn't willing to give up my little bit of sweet tea. I wasn't willing to get a smaller salad. I wasn't willing to have less dressing or eat less chips or stop drinking Diet Coke. So my weight just plateaued, and that hit me pretty badly. And I got sick a couple of times, which isn't an excuse, but it's true. Just like a cold. So I wasn't swimming and stuff. So I just gained the weight back slowly and slowly. And I still went to the gym, but I just was overeating massively. Got back up to 711. Got introduced to Amy, who had the opportunity to be on the show, and it just went from there. There was actually another woman that was involved that was going to be on it, but she wasn't willing to expose her life and her family and like her body be put on she just wanted the surgery.
Yeah.
She wanted all the perks, but none of the negative. So that's when I pulled in my cousin Ed, and that's when Amanda was introduced as well, and that's when all four of us got on the show.
Well, I mean, what you just described, I'm very, very typical of most people that get to that size. I mean,
yeah,
and I think a lot of people saw you on the show, and I mean, I'm sure you heard so much shit like where there must be just fucking lazy and this blah blah blah, like blah blah blah, like. And the thing is, it's indicative of like people that get to that size. What happens is normally, and I don't know if you've ever been checked for leptin resistance or not, but I mean, it sounds to me like as a child you had an issue with leptin because it sounds like you overate all the time. But you catch an injury, and this is what I say to everyone, like right now, I'm like leaning out a little bit slowly, but I'm probably taking in like 3,000 calories a day, right?
Wow.
I'm working out twice a day, because I got the home gym. However, if I would catch an injury where I would be immobile and I would stop working out, I'd start getting very big on that. I'd start gaining probably like a pound or two a week on that.
Yeah.
And people don't understand when you have a big appetite, and I talk about what I talk about. I don't know if you watched much of the other stuff after I pissed you off, but
no, I watched a good bit of your stuff.
Because I have my own issues with food. You know what I mean? Like that's where our coaching comes from and everything like that, But it's very indicative when people get to be that size, they can lose weight, but then something like a life event happens that there's normally a great, a serious degree of depression that goes along with being that big too, and everything.
Yeah.
So one thing happens and they don't know how to move forward. The depression takes hold, but especially when you're bedridden, because it's even more depressed. You end up eating more, blah, blah, blah. So these are all things that of course, I think it's very good that you're self-actualized. Like you're saying you just overate. There are also biological and emotional reasons for them too,
Oh yeah. I enjoyed food, and I was a pretty active kid, and I feel like that's what kept me from, gaining so much weight. And I battled with just eating bad food at bad times a lot of my life, especially as an adult driving around. And I hung out at a lot of bars, not drinking, but I would eat bar food like nachos. So I may have had some health issues, like a really bad metabolism and just and other stuff. But I also definitely made it worse with the choices I was making.
Absolutely. I mean, all the food I've seen seen that you really love is all very addictive food, sweet, salty,
It's so good.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. What's the food that's the problem? Like, what's the food that right now, if you ate, you're in trouble?
There's just things that I want that, luckily, I'm very lucky that I've found like a healthy substitute for a lot of things that I liked. Like, sure, I can't go make nachos, which is something I constantly want. But instead I'll have like a taco salad, which is basically nachos. And I really miss pizza, but there's cauliflower pizza, and you can go get, a lot of protein, don't get a lot of it's not, and I don't eat the whole thing, but I get like a small pizza, and it would be cauliflower based, which is lower on the carbs. It's the only things I really miss are like sweet tea. I really do love it. It's so good.
I tell you what, my son lives with us now, but because we just moved into Florida. But the one thing I can say, he's getting ready to turn 20. We lived in South Carolina for a long, long time before we moved back to Pittsburgh, and it frustrated him so much that when we moved to Pittsburgh, he couldn't get sweet tea.
It blows my mind that they even have tea as an option, and it doesn't come sweet. Like, I'm absolutely shocked that they have tea and it doesn't come sweet.
And for those of you that aren't from Georgia that are watching, sweet tea in Georgia is more like a tea syrup. It's not actually it doesn't it has like a viscosity to it. It doesn't actually pour like a fluid. It pours like kind of like an oily, almost like a motor oil pour,
McDonald's has probably the best fast food sweet tea. Mrs. Winters and stuff is good. I haven't had it in a long time. But when it was like they did that dollar tea, oh man, it was just, you couldn't turn it down.
So something I'm sure everybody's gonna be watching. We might as well get this out of the way. I started making videos about the show and I don't know if you know this beforehand, but I was very against bariatric surgery, very against.
I'm aware of that now. Yeah.
I was very against it, and your guys' show actually completely changed my mind. Like I issued a video retraction, of saying why and everything like that, because I really think that for people that were in your guys' situations, you guys need to be able to buy some time. To be able to get a grip of it, and look at all you guys are doing really well now. And I think that's a huge portion of both you guys, but also I think the surgeon and the doctor plays a huge portion too. And I think Dr. Proctor is an amazing person. We're interviewing him in a couple of days, right?
Yeah, I've heard. Yes,
but we were communicating, and I think that the thing that pissed you off the most is when I published a video that 700-pound man almost suffers life-threatening injury. I think that's what set you off. So go ahead and you can air it out if you want to.
To be honest, I don't. It's hard for me to fully remember how heated I may have been. I'm a pretty passionate person, and I'm really loud, and I seem to lose. I don't want to say lose my temper, but I just get really loud. And on social media, it's just really easy to type whatever you want. I don't think and also, at the same time your video came out, I was getting tagged by my friends, which is it's nothing against them. I was getting tagged by them in TLC ad posts on Facebook. I was constantly getting shown like YouTube clips of the show and stuff. So it was a lot of stuff coming in. It was a whole lot of just judgment from so many people coming in. And I'm not the kind of person that just like can sit there and listen to someone or read something about me, especially when like the show aired in January of last year, and I had already gone through everything. I'd already lost weight, and so I felt like there were a lot of people that were judging me off of not knowing where I was, and I almost always felt like I had to defend who I was, because I was like, listen, guys, I know you think I'm this person, but I'm here now. I had people telling me I wasn't who I was on YouTube because I would reply to comments. I had TLC telling me, Casey, you really should probably stop replying to people on Facebook and YouTube. And I was like, I just can't. It wasn't like contractually, they just didn't think it was a good idea. But I saw the video and it probably did rub me the wrong way. But again, it wasn't anything like I felt personally attacked by you. It was because so many other people were saying so much more ignorant stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like an overload. It really wasn't you as much as it was everyone else. Because I don't disagree with what you were saying. I really probably could have hurt myself pretty badly in there.
Yeah, like, the video was not about you in general.
No, I know.
The video, I mean, I'll still stick to this day. That trainer could have fucking killed you. Like, and I really mean, like,
I've heard
for you to be stepping up that high, and then when you weigh that much, I mean, and like when you weigh that much, like you could, like your ankle could shatter if you step wrong, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I was just like, what the fuck? Dude, I kid you not. Because my wife and I would watch it together, and I was like, I don't watch football anymore at all, but it was like watching a football game. I was standing up screaming at the fucking screen, calling the guy an idiot, because like, if you're going to go through the pain of surgery, because I mean, people don't understand, it's a huge mental thing for like, when you get to be that large, there's obviously like, you obviously have a poor relationship with food. So you've got to fight back too, because even though your stomach's smaller, the mental portion of it still you want to ingest the food. Like it's still like holds an emotional and taste attachment to you that your body is still going to crave. So you're still fighting the addiction, even though you can't, like for the first portion, you can't actually put that much in your stomach, you know? Yeah. But you're still fighting all the addictions, right?
Oh yeah.
So I was so pissed at that dude. I was like, fuck it. Dude, and I shit you not, like I was trying to find him online. You know what I mean? Like I really was. I was like going to message him like, you're a fucking idiot. You know, you could have fucking killed that motherfucker. Like, you know, I'm happy I didn't, because that would have been off. Like, because my wife was like, take a step back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, take a breath.
To be fair to him, Dex was just there. I don't know if they had ever used him before. It was like, you know, it was a one-off thing. People ask me still to this day, do I still like train with him? And I was like, that was a one-day thing. This was something they said, you know, because the show is edited and they can't make it, you know, they don't want to show everything, but they want to show you trying. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. So this was just like, they were like, hey, we're bringing him up here, do what you can. And he was like, we're just going to do the warm up. And I shit you not, I have done 5Ks. I have walked 7 or 8 miles in a day, just in like an hour or two. I have killed myself trying to like, you know, exercise, but I have never in my life been more tired than that day. And I was bigger then. I think I was probably around a good 500, maybe even still 600. I was shaking so badly. I was drinking water, thought I was going to throw up. And they want to do the little post, you know, recording interview. It was awful. It was great, but it was the worst feeling I've ever had as far as being exhausted.
Yeah. That could have turned you off from the whole process. Like that,
no.
I always talk about it like this is what my wife and I do, right? Is help. We help people that are underweight too. We help people who have normalized weights develop a better relationship with food. But the majority of our clients is more of the obese people trying to get healthy, right?
Yeah, no.
And like they're always like, give me a workout that will kill me. I'm like, I want you to work out at 50% capacity every fucking day. Okay, like if I give you a workout that buries you to the point where then you can't move because you're so sore for a couple of days, and people understand, like if you're really really sore and you're, you know, of a normalized weight, that sucks. If you're really really sore and you're 600 pounds, you're damn near fucking immobile. You know?
Not only that, it stays with you longer. It's harder to recover, and that also will just possibly put you out of doing it again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I remember the next day I was like, yeah, we're doing nothing today. We're doing nothing.
because dude, you had to be in so much pain. I mean, it was crazy.
It's pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
And that's why that video I refilmed that video 3 times, because the first time it was just way, like, I watched it and I was like, well, that's
coming in hot.
Yeah, like and obviously I'm a pretty aggressive guy, but I watched it. I was like, that's like, I believe I called the dude a complete fucking asshole moron who I'd slapped the shit out of or something like that. Like I was like, because I filmed it. I did, like, we watch on Sling. I don't have, so I watched the rerun. I watched it the next day, right?
No,
like,
yeah.
So I woke up in the morning before I filmed, and I went from watching it directly to my filming area. And I filmed it, edited it, and I was pissed. And I watched it. My wife just looked at me like, "No."
I want to redo this a little bit. Yeah. I want to rethink it.
But do you think the show portrayed you fairly?
No. Okay, that's a tough question. It's not really that tough. It's like a double answer. Yes and no. Was I a big baby about a lot of things? Yeah. Am I a loud person? Yeah. I'm pretty sarcastic. I think I have a pretty good sense of humor. So they show that. But also they twist some things. There's some editing. Here's the thing. We got on this show knowing we were going to have the opportunity to have surgery. Everyone knew you could get sleeve surgery or some form like that. There was the opportunity. Yeah. Was it guaranteed? No, because you may fail. But it was also up to you to do it. Now, as soon as I signed up, I was like, I have to get the surgery. It's going to save my life. It's something I have to do. But I was scared shitless. Like, I was scared, like, big. I've never had surgery, never been put on it. I've never even had a cavity in my teeth. Never. Stitches twice. That's it. Thank God. But it scared the shit out of me, and I was very nervous about getting it. But I knew the whole time I was getting it. Now, they may have used a good couple of clips where it was like, so Casey, are you scared? Do you think you're going to get it? And I was like, I don't know. I'm really scared. But then I would be like, I know it's going to save my life. I know it's something I have to do. So always I would go back to, this is something I have to do. But they didn't show that. They would more so show that, I think I'm not going to do it. I'm good. And also the whole show, they want to paint me as this guy that's not trying. But when it comes down to my final weigh-in, I've lost 80 pounds. Yeah. That's crazy. How could you lose 80 pounds if you weren't trying? How could you do that if you were never, like, committed to the process? And I know I could have done better. 80 pounds was a good bit, but I was only asked to lose 50. I lost 80. That's almost double.
How long was 80 pounds over? 6 months?
Let's see. Okay, so the very first time I ever met Dr. Proctor was in May, and my surgery was in September. So so 5 months. And I mean, the day I weighed in was the day on the show. May 11th, May 7th, something like that. 711. Surgery was on September 20th, I think.
So here's what I want to go. One, I mean, obviously shit gets edited. Like, I'm very like that. I mean, there's been several people that have reached out to me about, like, possible TV spots and shit like that.
Yeah.
The thought process of that just fucking sucks for me, because I'm very used to controlling the editing of how I am.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I could be portrayed like here's my thing. I view myself as, I'm that uncle that tells you the fucking truth no matter what, But the thing about that is, I could be portrayed, if somebody else was editing what I said,
hugely. Yeah.
I could be edited to be very villainous.
Well, that comes with you, for one, doing your own editing, and how you come out already, and then two, you being your own worst critic. So well, hell, if I think I'm an aggressive person and I edit my videos, who only knows how badly someone else can make me?
Oh, they could villainize me.
100%. Because there were people that would. I mean, listen, I'm not going to go into, like, not that you're asking to, but I'm not going to go into, like, super details of people sending me, like, hate messages, kill yourself, whatever. I did get them. Not going to name anyone, but, like, with anything you do that puts these us kind of people on TV, there will always be judgment. There will always be negative feedback. There will always be trolls that want to find us and, like, say, it happens. I wouldn't take back the opportunity of being on the show for anything. Yeah. It's immensely changed my life, and I could easily get 1,000 more messages from just assholes on the internet, and it wouldn't bother me at all.
Right. I mean, I think it was fairly obvious. Some of it was edited. Like, in a few episodes you were made to be seen like a very outlandish character. Like,
Yeah.
Like okay, come on, like and while I think that to a certain degree, anybody that is at 700 pounds at the time they're at 700 pounds, there's kind of a maturity factor. You know what I mean? Where I mean, because at that point in time, your life is not around responsibilities, work, family, socialization. Your responsibility in your mind and to your body is about getting these people to get you food.
Pretty much. And take me where I need to go. That's all it really was. Feed me and carry me around. Yeah,
because I've always say that when somebody gets to be like super morbidly obese, there's a maturity factor that because in all retrospect, the person is dealing with emotional and disordered eating, to a great degree, and that is stuff that normally needs counseling or like that. That's why I like Proctor, because he made you guys get psychological counseling.
Yeah.
I mean that's why I do like that, or at least psychological clearance.
Yeah.
But to a great degree, like I think that is, I mean, that doesn't happen with all bariatric surgeons. I hear stories of like it's like a conveyor belt where like they just like if you get approved for insurance, they just take your money,
Yeah.
And that's sad,
Yeah. I think we all we got really lucky. I mean, I feel like the whole process was. Do I think it could have been a little better and not as streamlined? Sure, but I think we got a pretty good deal. I saw my nutritionist and Dr. Proctor even more than the show shows. I would go in just on a random whim to make sure I was still doing okay, to make sure I was eating stuff that was okay. I constantly went and saw my nutritionist and the nurse practitioner. Still, I just go there because it's still covered, luckily, thank God. But so I wanted as much information as I could get because I was all in. Like, I know the show doesn't show that because it wants to paint it. Yeah. Everyone is a certain person. I played a role. Ed was a role. Amy and Amanda, all of us had a role they wanted to paint us as. Mm-hmm. I think I got the worst one pretty much, but I was also the biggest person. So whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and to a great degree, I mean, just like I was saying, everybody that's that size, like I think it's not easily manipulated type thing, but they're literally like kind of hanging a procedure that could help save your life in front of you.
Yeah, in front of you. Yeah.
So I mean, it's to me that's it's also a TV network and TLC. This is no offense to you, but like you obviously they want drama too, so they're going to edit it whatever way they can. Like I don't know if the new season has even started, but the two girls they got on there, holy fuck, man.
All right. So I have my own personal opinions about both of them because I know who they are from their YouTube channel. Yeah. I wish the best for them. I don't think they'll do well, but hey, I mean, they make money off being big and rude to each other. So
what do you think about that though? Like, what do you think about like when you look on YouTube? Like here, we actually had a question earlier, and it's not just about her, but it's about other people. Like, what do you think of people like Amberlynn Reed and these people that eat copious amounts of food that are morbidly obese online? What are your thoughts on that?
So my thought is, do whatever in life makes you happy, but understand consequences come with everything. If you're a person on YouTube or TV and you're advocating that you want to lose weight and you also make videos of you eating entire cakes, then guess what? No one should believe anything you're saying. And when you die, no one should be surprised. And that sounds really cruel, but it's just the truth. It's just
it should be on the channel.
No shit. Yeah, like I mean, the only people that are really obese that I ever run into that are on like social media or YouTube. I know who Boogie is, and I know you've made videos about him. And I don't have a ton of information. And there's another guy named Wings of Redemption. I've watched tons of stuff about him. Amberlynn Reed is someone I don't know much about, but I've heard that she does these cycles, these 4-step cycles of like she acts like she's trying to lose weight, and then she eats because she's depressed, and then she gains, and then she has like a reawakening thing, and then she just goes through these like 4 stages of things. If you want to lose weight and you're a certain size, yeah, it's going to be really difficult because food is always going to be your friend. But I don't think it's fair to make money off of something that isn't true. And these people act like they want to lose weight, but then they're filming videos where they're like doing mukbangs or they're eating whole cakes or they're eating plates of nachos or, ordering $100 worth of Taco Bell. And I'm just like, how can you actually want to lose weight if you're doing these things? You make money not gaining weight. You make money off your own controversy, and that's what you know works.
Yeah. I when it's like their monetary income is connected to their obesity.
Exactly. Why would you ever turn that away?
Right. I mean, and the worst part is, I do think that Amberlynn Reed could actually, like, if she actually all of a sudden really started losing weight, I think she would do well. Like, I really do, because she seems to be super comfortable with herself, which on camera, that's a tough thing. Like, I mean, like, especially when you film yourself, you got to be very comfortable with being an idiot sometimes, you know?
100%.
Yeah, and I think she would do well. I just don't think that, like, I think that she has herself surrounded by people that aren't helping, whether they realize it or not. And that's a bad place for a morbidly, I mean, she's like, you're how tall? 6 something?
I'm 5'11". Some people say 5'10". I say 5'11".
Okay, so 5'11".
Yeah.
She's like 5'3" or 5'4", and she weighs like close to 600 pounds.
That's it. When I see old pictures of myself and I was 711 and I see like my giant belly that looked like a vagina almost, and it was split like an ass crack. It's very, I mean, I hate myself back then. And to think that someone could be like a full 8 inches shorter than me, or like 9 inches, and be almost the same size, I can't imagine like the debilitating like effect it has to have on your body.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, I just, there was a lot of things in my life that I had to go through that were really rough when I was much bigger. I mean, my parents, I owe them for the rest of my life. They're the only reason I'm alive, 100%, even with the show or whatever. But I don't know how you can be that big, and then there's no way a person like Amberlynn Reed, who has their monetary like well-being attached to their obesity, because if she lost all that weight, what would she have on her channel? You know, I mean, I guess she actually could turn into a weight loss channel, but then she'd have to reformat, restructure, and she probably just doesn't want to, because sadly, the stereotype of big people being lazy is sometimes true.
You know, I mean, it is to a certain degree. I mean, here's the thing. I think when it comes to, I don't necessarily know if I like calling it laziness, because there's that one thing, like, it is truly, like, in no way do I think at 700, for you to get to 700 pounds, do you not have a mental and probably physical addiction to food?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So it's the same thing where my problem kind of lies in the responsibility of the platforms, because it's a picking and choosing of unhealthy behaviors, you know? Because if you, like, dude, if you were just slamming, if you were an alcoholic and slamming a bottle of whiskey on you know, every day, and it's not that I mean, I've had a few people like, well, you drink beer on camera. Yeah, but I'm also like a fitness person, and I want to show that I'm relatable, that in the fact that, like, I show my real life. Like,
yeah,
like I'm not, you know, I don't, especially the people that, like, you know, we have some, like, I see them clicking on. We have people that pay for a membership that they get to see behind the scenes. They can see my workouts. They can see, like, I'm a dude. Like, I mean, a lot of these people present a persona on TV or on social media or whatever, and I'm very much me. That's why I'm very comfortable going live with people like this. I know a lot of times, you know, people like YouTubers especially aren't very comfortable with live interviews because they don't get to be in their character. But for me, I just say whatever the fuck I want to say.
I mean, yeah, I'm good. I don't care. I'm good.
And you're doing very, very well, because the thing is, I think you have interesting perspectives. You know, like, first of all, you know, there's the gamer thing. I thought it was more of a stereotype of the gamer thing. You know, like,
yeah.
Where, I mean, where gamers can be only like want to sit on their bed and do whatever, you know?
It's funny you bring that. The whole gaming thing, it was just, there's two things. So one, it's very funny to me that food is considered an addiction, yet it's one of the only ones that is like super socially acceptable. Like, it's not treated the same as any other kind of addiction, and it's something you have to do to live. Like, you have to eat to live. You have to. And if you're addicted to food, it just it complicates things, because you have to eat. You're not going to make the right choices. Like, if no one would say anything if you were invited to a buffet for food, but they would say something to a person that was addicted to heroin, and they're just being a buffet of heroin. They're both addictions, and they both can like end your life easily. But you would never treat them the same. They're two very different things. Heroin's much more dangerous, obviously, but I'm just saying the fact that if if it's considered an addiction, I don't know how it's not treated the same. But the whole gamer thing, gaming was always a hobby. I still enjoy it. I do it a ton less than I used to, like very rarely. But it was something that I enjoyed doing, and I still do. But it was also because the world of gaming online, you never have to put your real self out there. No one had to know that I was 700 pounds. No one had to know that I was obese. No one had to know anything. They just knew my name was Woozy, my name is Casey, and I lived in Georgia, and I was pretty good at Destiny, and I was okay at Fortnite. That was it. Like, that was all they needed to know. And, I had some jokes, and I got to know people on Facebook and stuff. But once you've gained that friendship on the internet, no one really cares what you look like. They're not going to turn you away because you're fat.
Right.
And those were my friends were. I had friends IRL, but I just didn't see them because I didn't go anywhere and I didn't do anything. So it was when I got on the game, it was like I went to the bar or the movies with my friends. It was like I went somewhere to hang out, but it just.
Well, it gave you an escape,
Exactly.
I mean, when you were at your biggest, what were the physical pains? Like, what hurt you the most?
So I'm very fortunate. The only pains I ever really got was I would get a really bad, intense burn in the middle of my back, but only when I have stood and did like things with my hands in front of me, like cooking or dishes or anything. If I was standing, my back would hurt. I would have occasional like feet problems. I had the swelling. The swelling was probably the worst thing of my right foot. And just, pain in my feet. My joints never hurt. I didn't really have too many other pains, but those were the things that hurt the most. My feet and my back, mostly.
Yeah, that's indicative. You're lucky about knees and stuff like that too. God.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're still decently young to get it taken care of, which is very, very, very good.
And I will say, I'm not saying it's fortunate, but my body has always been able to adjust to the weight until I got to 800 pounds.
Yeah.
I've always been bigger. My calves have always been huge because I've always.
Oh yeah, you got a big frame.
Yeah.
You look like
so I've just been.
player.
Yeah. I've been lucky in that. I just don't have the aggression for that. Sadly, I don't have the real aggression. But I've just always been lucky enough to my body to be able to match the size I was, to be able to hold it until I got to a certain point. Obviously, now that I've lost a lot of weight, I'm seeing the repercussions of being so big with the skin, the herniated stomach, the pulled groin, the feet. I still have major feet issues because I wore flip-flops for 7 years, never shoes ever. And now I wear shoes and my feet hurt constantly from that.
It's funny because I moved to Florida a little bit ago and I bitch about when I have to wear shoes.
Man, and I have people giving me so much shit about loving flip-flops. They're like, girls wear flip-flops. I'm like, you're wrong. I love them. But I don't wear them anymore.
I'm barefoot right now, motherfucker.
I'm wearing shoes because I'm at someone else's house. So
shit, I'm barefoot right now. So I work out barefoot, all that shit. I love it. But we're getting off on a fucking tangent now.
Yeah.
So the hanging belly, you plan on having that removed, or you?
So on the show, and this is one of the other things that kind of, my Dr. Proctor, God bless him, but on a whim, he was like, well, you could probably get skin removal at 350. That's only 22 pounds away. Yeah. But then I went and saw my nurse practitioner, and she was like, well, normally we don't suggest surgery until you're within like a 25% BMI. And it turns out on the show, when I first got on, I was at 95, which is insane. Now I'm at like a low 50, I think maybe even high 40s, which is great. But I'm still very much far away from getting into the 20s. 220 to 210 is how much they want me to weigh before I have surgery. And I don't see that being possible just from where I am right now. It seems like a very far step. So I would probably get surgery around 250 or 270.
I mean, how much right now?
372.
Yeah, I find it shocking that they're going to wait that long.
It's a surgery you can only get once. They don't want to do it twice, which I understand. I don't even want to do it once because I'm terrified. I heard it hurts a lot. But if say I got it now. Yeah. Say I got it now and I got to just 340 with the skin removal or 330, whatever. And then I lost more weight, I would have so much saggy skin again. But then there's also a toning thing. So, I don't know how it all works out. I've never actually sat down with anyone that's had skin removal. Amy had it, or Amanda, no, wait, Amanda had it, but she didn't have the full thing. She just had the sac removed, and that's called like a panicectomy. I can't think of what it's called, but she said that I remember when she had it, she was like, never get this done. It's awful. And I was like, well, that sucks because I'm definitely going to have to get it done. Thanks for telling me. But sorry, what was that?
At some point in time, it'll be a health risk.
Yeah.
I mean, because one, it's like as you move, like as you walk, it'll be draping down. So as you're
it does. Right now. Well, I mean, like right now, I have to tuck it in my pants and tuck it in my underwear. It makes me wear a size larger than I want to. It literally just hangs. It's just, and it's still divided into two sides or whatever. I mean, I have the wings on the side and I have underarm. I mean, I have a lot of loose skin, but the three areas I would complain most about are my side, man boob, my arm, and my stomach is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I would be so much smaller without it, but again, I'm not going to get it removed.
Yep, I can understand why you're. I mean, people don't understand that surgery. That surgery is a very serious surgery. It really is. But it will get to the stage where it could actually, especially as you get older, what happens is that skin can become necrotic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where because it's hanging down, it's skin against skin all the time. And I mean, and you live in Georgia, which makes it even worse, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so you know, because with the heat and everything like that, moisture builds up in there, and I mean, I know this because I'm sure you're taking good hygienic care of yourself. But people understand, like when it's like that, like an ingrown hair in between there or something like that can become necrotic and cause what's called necrotizing fasciitis, and that's like basically a flesh-eating bacteria.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to like when there's a ton of it, it's important to have it taken off for one, for that reason, but two, it changes your gait as you walk. Like I remember talking to Amanda about it before, where she was like, they think they're going to remove 80 pounds. I'm like, make sure you get physical therapy after. They make sure they give you a script for physical therapy afterwards because you're going to need to relearn to walk. And she's like, oh. I'm like, they're taking 80 pounds off the front of you. So
yeah.
I mean, you normally walk pulling back to deal with the 80 pounds in front of you. When that's gone, you're going to throw yourself on your back.
Plus, like so for years I had never jumped. And I've never ran in like years, obviously, but like, I can jump now. I don't want to jump a lot, but I can jump. But like I tried to kind of like run a couple of weeks ago to shut the gate at my house. And it literally is like a whole new sensation of like, just, I feel like I'm, some kind of anime thing because I'm holding my arms out. I don't know where to put them. I just didn't know how to it's like I've forgotten how to run.
Yeah.
It just feels different.
It's not even that you forgot how to run. It's one, you probably haven't run in a long time.
Yeah.
The motor pathway is going to be built back up. But two, when like your body's expecting, like your body is naturally expecting, like when you run, there's a certain movement of the body. But right now with the extra skin you have, it's causing movements in different light. Like you move forward, but your belly can be trying to shift to the left, like as you
100%. Yeah.
So that's why it compromises your gait, and that's why a lot of people have to, like a lot of people that were bigger have to have it removed because it gets to be the point where you don't want to fall down and hurt yourself, like shit like that.
Yeah.
So what's the future hold, man? Like what are you looking forward to? Because it sounds like, dude, I got to tell you, out of everybody, from what the show portrayed of you, I was like, this guy's going to start gaining weight back. At some point in time, because what a lot of people don't say. Like what a lot of people don't know is that it is very possible to gain weight back. I've had people say no because your stomach doesn't actually get bigger. Here's the fucking thing. First of all, if you start eating shit food, you still can eat 3,000 calories on a tiny stomach.
Easily. It's mind blowing how quickly you get to 3,000. I'm only supposed to have 1,600 on the high end of a day, 15 to 1,600, and you're like, well, I mean, and I do the stuff where I'm like, okay. Because people tell you can't eat fast food, but you really can. You just have to be smart. Like I'll do a Whopper Jr. But see, the thing is but I get no bread and I get no sauce. I just do the meat, the cheese, the vegetable. I may even add bacon. But again, no bread, no sauce, nothing like that. And that's still like 270 calories. Like it'll sneak up on your drinks, because I'll drink a little Coke Zero, which says 0 calories. But what people don't know is the FDA or whatever allows those companies to say 0 because as long as it's under 50, it can say 0.
Right.
So you still have to count that as well. But I mean, it's just a handful of peanuts. There's calories there. A lot of the things, Slim Jim, a mini Slim Jim, which is just protein, not bad for you. It has like 50 calories that can very easily sneak up on you.
You mentioned nuts. Nuts, people snack on nuts, right?
Yeah.
Like almonds that fill the palm of your hand, that's 100 calories.
Oh, yeah.
People
You wouldn't even think it. You'd be like, this has got to only be like 5 calories. It's just protein. But it is. It will add up. It's very shocking. I mean, I'll admit my weight does fluctuate. Not in any high number, but the lowest I've seen is 370. The highest I've seen recently is 375, 376. I have a good like 4-pound floating that I go between. I'm very lucky that even when I hit these, from what the surgical team, Beltline Bariatric has told me, I've blown away like the expectations of as far as they thought I would go, because you're normally supposed to have very long stalls. They're like, we don't even know how you're below 450 right now. But again, I was huge, and I'm not trying to brag upon myself. I'm just saying I'm really happy with the results of the surgery. I'm very happy that I've gotten to where I am. I know I may sit at 372 for a minute, but I know that if I just increase my activity and lower my caloric intake, I can lose more weight again. It's just that easy.
Have you thought about having the second step done?
What?
Have you thought about having the second step done?
Oh, the switch?
Yeah.
Well, see, the problem with that, and every time I see the nurse practitioner, she asks me if I would ever do it. And the problem is, I still don't have insurance. I still don't have any kind of health insurance at all. So unless they want to pro bono it at me, I don't think it's possible. But again, if we get to a point to where at the end of this year, I'm only at 360 and I only lose 10 pounds, or I go 5 months and I don't lose anything, we'll definitely start looking into some change of some sort. But I still feel like I can lose more weight. I still know there's things I can do to improve the way I'm eating. Because I mean, everybody cheats. I don't do crazy things, but like, sure, I like a little bit of guacamole when I go to the Mexican restaurant. I like to eat a little bit of chips and salsa. There's bad things I do that I know I can improve. I don't think I do anything too badly in excess, but surgery right now, as far as the future goes, I'm going to try and look for a job. And that's really like the main thing. Just look for a job and just keep trying to lose weight. I'm probably going to, right now, it's the holidays and my birthday has went by and I didn't gain any weight. And that makes me very happy in itself, because it's Thanksgiving, it's my birthday, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. Really all I got left to worry about is the Super Bowl, because there will be shit food at that as well. But those 4 things went by and I didn't gain any weight. I'm still at 372. Makes me very happy, because it was like, baked macaroni and cheese, dressing, pies, cake, hibachi, Japanese food, sushi. All those things were in front of me, and I managed to get through them without gaining any weight. And that's really good. I want to increase the gym I go to. I haven't been recently because I've been working a lot with my parents. But I want to start swimming again. I've been told actually that if I started doing like weight training, it would probably help me a good bit as well. But I'm fearful because I have so much loose skin. I'm still a big guy. And as much as people, at the gym I go to, the LA Fitness I go to, people have known me pretty well there because I've been there for years, and I've gradually lost weight. And they're like, "Oh my God, dude, you're getting so small." And I'm like, "Yeah, things are." I don't advertise that I was on a show. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I put it out there pretty hardcore that I'm famous, and I'm not. My friend is coughing, but it's a great support system. But I also still fear like public judgment, because I'm not a tiny guy. And when I go into public, I know I still get looked at as a fat guy. I know I still look overweight. It still just messes with me mentally. And that's the one thing I still struggle with. Self-image will always probably be a big problem for me.
Well, I don't think anybody who gets to your size before doesn't have some. I personally, I actually have this theory that the entire world has body images. Like everybody, like me, everybody, that's one of the things. Like one of my hashtags is life over looks, because you got to escape all that shit. Like it's really easy. Like it's really easy for people to think that like somebody that's like got super great abs, not me, but like somebody's got super great abs and all sorts of shit, also like lean, the young guys and all like that. They must love themselves. Those motherfuckers are like slaves to that shit. You know, like,
Yeah, no, 100%. It's when that stuff is their social media, or like when they're taking pictures, that's what they work for. Like, sure, they have a job, but when they're not working, that's everything to them. Like, that's what they strive to do. They're in the gym 7 days a week, maybe twice a day, and they're counting. They're not having food. They're eating just grilled chicken and rice with salt and pepper on it. I know a guy, when I worked at Quiznos, this guy, he was a huge bodybuilder, and he ate food that I thought looked like vomit. It had no taste, but he would just be like pepper, rice, chicken, done every day.
I mean, it's a very weird thing, like, because social media messes people up. You know, like, that's why I think it's cool that, like, I think that both Amanda and Amy are doing a really neat thing, because they're putting themselves out.
Oh, I don't know what just happened.
Whoa, it almost disappeared. The fat acceptance community, like, hates me, but, like, I'm a big believer in, like, we should have fat acceptance. Like, I'm a big believer that, like, we should accept people for who they are and not be mean to them based off of how they look. Because, you know, I mean, when you are able to, like, make fun of how a fat person looks, it's not far of a stretch to start making fun of people based off of their color and stuff like 100%. That, in my opinion, you know, because, like, now you're picking the most obvious thing about them, and you're saying something negative, in a negative connotation about it. And to me, it's not a far leap. It's not, you know. And that's the type of person that some people are. Because I always say this: those people are going to find, like, dude, you could all of a sudden, like, magically, presto, let's transplant your brain into somebody else, you know, that has a Greek god body, and you would find something shitty to say to you. You know,
100%. And if my mind went with me, I'd probably find issues with myself instantly, like just little imperfections or whatever, because that's the way I'm. Like,
well, it becomes worse. Like, I always talk about, like, when I first started YouTube, I was like 265-ish, you know, and I was a perma-bulk powerlifter, and by that, I don't know if you know what that means. Like, I ate a lot of food to be strong, and I didn't give a fuck what I looked like. I didn't have a six-pack. I had a keg. You know, I was fat.
You were like yoked out.
Right? Yeah, I was fat, but I was fat and strong, right?
Yeah.
Well, I started having sleep apnea, blah blah blah, the whole list. So I lost a bunch of weight, and I lost about, you know, a good, like, I started losing weight at 243. Was when I started, like, actually recording it, but I weighed, like, in the 260s when I first started. So I lost a good, like, 80 pounds by the end of it. But when I was 180 pounds, I was like I hated my body worse. Like, it was weird. Like, I had dieted down so hard, and like, I was so food focused, and I picked apart every little part of my body and shit like that. Like, now I don't even own a scale, like, shit like that. Like, I mean, I have healthy endeavors I do, you know?
Listen, I would never want to go back to being 800 pounds or 700 pounds, but I know this. I was comfortable, which is horrible, but I was comfortable. And, like, I knew I was fat. But, like, now that I've lost so much weight, it's impossible for me to take compliments. People tell me I'm handsome or I'm cute or I've done so well. And I just don't, like, I say thanks, but in my head, I'm just like, they're being nice. I don't take it to heart. I just find now more imperfections with myself than I did before, because I see the other problem is you get so much, like, verbal and internet, like, love, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing so well, you're so handsome, you're so cute, you're so whatever. But then, like, your IRL social life doesn't really change. You don't just gather a girlfriend. You don't get invited to every party. You're not all of a sudden just the coolest guy ever. But on the internet, I'm getting messages from Brazil from some girl that I don't understand telling me she wants to marry me. That really did happen. And I don't know, you know, but then in real life, I'm still just hanging out, doing whatever. It's crazy. And it's because it doesn't, you don't accept it because it doesn't feel real or like a material thing. It's just words on a keyboard, words on the internet.
It's still
hard to accept it.
Your life change is still pretty fresh to you. So
yeah, that's true too. 100%.
I'm sure there's sometimes where you wake up and, like, it's like almost like a whoa shit, you know, type thing, you know?
Yeah, it really, because it's only been a year. I mean, it's been technically 2 years since the surgery, almost. But, like, well, no, it's only okay, whatever. But it's been only a year since I've really had all this weight loss. I've only been in the 370s for maybe a month or two. You know, I was 400 pounds in last August, and now I'm not. And it's that, like, that alone was crazy. Like, the whole time people were asking me, what are your goals? You know, you want to get to 250? I was like, well, you know, let's get to 550. Let's get to 500. Let's get to 400. And then I got there and I was like, man, like, this is really, we're flying through this. It's only been a year. I didn't even, I'm pretty happy with myself. I know I could have done better. I know I could be a little smaller, but, and I'm by far a pretty bad critic of myself because I don't plaster out there what I've done. You know, people ask, I get messages for tips and help, and I feel kind of bad because I tell them, hey, I got a surgery. Like, I can give you some help.
You should.
No, I feel bad because, like,
when people don't do that, like, I know several people that have huge, like, I'm never going to bust their names out, but I know several people in the music industry and on other people on social media that talk about weight loss and shit like that.
Yeah.
As like, well, I just did this, that, and I know they got surgery.
Yeah. And that's what I'm afraid of, because people will literally come to me and they're like, listen, I have this health issue, this medical issue where I can't lose weight, but you lost weight. What did you do? And I'm like, okay, I had surgery. So it's a little like, it's different. I can give you tips and hints and like little tricks, like, you know, don't drink sweet tea, drink a lot of water, these kind of things. But I can't give you like the gift that I was given, because it changed my life. I mean, I love it. It was great, but I can't give them the answer they necessarily want because I just don't have the opportunity to hand them the opportunity that was given to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're very good at it. You should be forthcoming about it.
Yeah.
Here's, you know, I don't, just because you got the surgery though, and this is where my thought process has changed. So, and this is one of the things I did want to make sure I talk to you about.
Yeah.
Because I do see, like, even in your comments, stuff like that, like, you still do a decent amount of self-deprecation. I don't even know if you noticed that.
Oh, no, I really do. I hate myself pretty much a lot. So, yeah.
See, the thing is, I think that, like, you are allowing the fact that you got surgery to take away, to a certain degree, the amount of work you've actually done. Because while the surgery does make it easier for you to eat less, you were addicted to fast food and shit like that. Like, I mean, obviously, like, I'm sure pizza was an issue, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
I've known people that have gotten the surgery, okay, and like, the first thing they do is try to figure out how they can eat pizza without getting sick, you know, like, and I mean, because for those of you that don't know, normally after you first get a surgery like this, if you do eat something like pizza, like with a high grease content especially, it will kind of make you pretty ill, you know. So that's what happens with a lot of these people. That's why you see a lot of people, like, you know, lose hair and stuff like that, like, because they're getting malnourished because their stomach is so small that they just eat the same shit food they had. Now, when their stomach was huge, they could eat a bunch of that shit food and they would get the basic micro and macronutrients, right? Yeah. But when their stomach is all of a sudden really small, they eat the same shit food. It's very, very low nutritionally dense food. It's high calorie dense, low nutritionally dense. So all of a sudden their body's not getting like the proper amount of like magnesium, vitamin A, iron, those sorts of things. Like, so their hair falls out. Some people even lose their teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, so while I think that, like, you know, it's very good that you tell people that you got the surgery when they do ask, because that is just kind of being very upfront and honest.
Yeah, I'm forthcoming. I don't want to hide it at all.
And for you, it's being very, very self-actualized, because if without the surgery, you know, who knows if you could have lost weight or not, but you did get it, right?
Yeah.
But also, you're the one that combated all that other shit. Like, that's you true. Did that, okay? Not the surgery, nothing like that. You did that shit. Like, so that's why I tell all my clients, like, you know, while you got yourself to 700 pounds. If you allowed it to kill you, then you can bitch. Then you can be pissy on yourself. But you're the one that risked your life in the surgery. You're the one that fucking put yourself out there for the entire fucking TV world to fucking dick on you. You're the one that dealt with all the hunger, all the issues, all the cravings. You're the one that dealt with probably a lot of emotional distress, dealing with the fact that, like, you know, you put yourself in that position. You're the one that dealt with all that shit. So while it's okay to be very self-actualized about the surgery, it is not good for you to be a dick to yourself about it. And I think that's something that, like, if I can impart anything on you, as you know, from our conversation, that's what I want for you. Like, I want you to start seeing that, like, wow, I don't want you to be cocky about it, but you did do shit. You participated fucking heavily. You know, like, the surgery didn't do everything. And I mean, multiple times on this call, you have stated that, like, well, I know I could have done better. Yes, you could have, but in retrospect too, you could have done a lot fucking worse, Casey.
This is true. See, there are days where, like, I'll pat myself on the back and I'll actually be like, man, you look pretty good today. You're doing all right. But I will admit, like, I'm this is the first time in my life to where I've been more like out with like taking pictures of people, of myself and like my family. And I post on social media on my Instagram, and I don't, you know, I used to just never, I didn't want anything posted. I didn't want anything taken. I didn't want anything sent to me. I didn't like myself at all. But there are now times where I actually think I look okay. It's just, I'm not used to getting them from other people. So I feel like once there will be a point to where I'm more comfortable with myself and my own self-image, to where I will accept like public, like, I mean, there are people that message me and tell me I'm an inspiration. And the first thing I tell them is, thank you, but understand I did this specifically for me. If you can take something away from this, I'm really happy for you. And that's great. And if I can help you in some way, I will. But I did this for the most selfish, greedy reason there ever could be. And that was just for me. I didn't care about TLC's ratings. I didn't care about anything else. I will even say, like, you know, I'm happy Amy, Amanda, and Ed are both doing well. But all I wanted from this show was to get surgery for myself so I could lose weight. That's all.
Well, a couple things about it. First of all, you say you don't get to take pictures much. Last year we were in Atlanta, and you didn't. I know that was when right about when you were pissed at me. But this year, my wife and I'm speaking at the Men's Fun Conference in Atlanta again. I would love for you guys to come up and have a meal.
Yeah, man.
Love it. And I want a picture with you. Very fucking real, okay? But also, I mean, like the thing about it is, it's very easy to understand. Like, I mean, because the fear of getting big again has got to be terrifying. I mean, like,
I gain a pound and the world is ending. Like and the one thing I know that I need to break from, that I still do to this day, that's really bad. I weigh myself every single day.
Don't fucking do that, dude. Don't.
Yeah, I know. The problem is here's the good and the bad of losing so much weight. Every day I lost weight. Every day I was losing pounds, and it was oh my god. We're 480 today. Oh my god, I'm 475 the next day. Like, it was really crazy the amount of weight I was losing. And now that I hit these stalls, man, it is like soul crushing to get on there and see it say like 374, and I'm like, what the fuck? I just had a wrap today and some water and some nuts. Where did these 2 pounds come from? But it's just.
Well, let me explain it to you. Let me explain it to you real quick. First of all, once a week, dude. That's it. Okay. Like we don't have a scale in my house because I actually have a problem with it. Like I have a problem with the scale. Like, I'm never happy with the number. And I got to where I was weighing myself more than once a day. And when I was trying to lose weight, I found myself dehydrating myself to try to get a smaller number later on a day. That's very unhealthy. It's very, very unhealthy. So, but once a week, I commit to that once a fucking week.
I need to pick a day and weigh myself that day of the week. Yeah.
Now, the other thing though, too, like your weight fluctuation, you got to look at it this way. First of all, you do have a lot of extra skin. Yeah. That extra skin holds hydration. Okay. Your hydration levels are not like a person normally of your size. So the variance for hydration just from your skin stays the same. You could add a couple of pounds in fluid into the dermis of your skin just from eating something that has a little bit more sodium one day than the next day. Like, you could eat the same exact calories, but you could eat a little bit more sodium, and so your body's going to retain a little bit more fluid just by percentage wise, right? Well, you have a lot more skin to hold a lot more fluid. That's skin tissue is almost all fluid. You know, like, I mean, it's like, you know, we're made up of mostly fluid, but skin is even more than, you know, because you have bone added to that and everything like that. So it's a higher skewed percentage, right? True. So that's why your weight will fluctuate through the course of the week, up and down. Like, if you eat something with more sodium in it one day, or just for whatever reason you don't sleep well or whatever, you could retain a little bit more fluid. That's why that number is not, a daily number is not that important. It's a number over time that's important for you right now, okay? True. Especially because here's the fucking thing. As you get lower and lower and lower, there's going to be a time when you should probably not step on that motherfucker except once a month.
Yeah. And because the results will just take longer and longer to show up if I am doing stuff. Yeah, because I've heard, you know, people really think that, you know, if you're 350 pounds, you can lose weight. It's gone. It's dropping off. That's not true. Plus, your body can only lose so much at a certain amount of time. You will have stalls, and I understand that I'm probably in one right now.
And also, like, I mean, especially like, I know sounds crazy for people that don't understand it, but like, for people that are super big like you were, to lose that much weight so super fast, it actually changes the volume of blood your body needs. Like, you know, like, that's why sometimes there's like hydration stalls and stuff like that, right? But I think, like, because eventually you won't be the guy that loses weight anymore. Eventually you're just gonna be Casey. And that's who you need to prepare yourself to be. So, I mean, I really think that moving into like, the more you see that person, not the guy that loses weight, just Casey that's done losing weight, that will help you out a little bit, because you need to start viewing life after this shit. Okay. This was a prison that you put yourself in, no doubt.
Yeah.
It absolutely is, no doubt. However, it's also a prison that, with the help of some other people, you are escaping. Like, you are totally getting it. You're totally escaping it. So when you completely have your freedom, you need to decide who you're going to be when you're free. Okay. And that is something that, like, I do, like I said, I do this for a living, but that is like my biggest piece of advice I can give to you for the end of, like, because we're near the end of our call, but that's the biggest piece of advice I can give to you, is decide who you're going to be, because you can fucking be anything. Like, I mean, you really, like, I mean, I mean, like, you put yourself back years, but you can still fucking be anything you want, man. You know, I mean, maybe not a bodybuilder, but you can be anything you fucking want, you know, anything of that actually has substance to it, not just something fucking like that. You can be anything you fucking want. And you need to decide who that's going to be after you're Casey by the Ton, because Casey by the Ton is, you're slowly killing that person, because that person was killing you. Okay?
Yeah.
So you need to decide who you're going to be after that. And that's, the person after that is not going to weigh themselves every day, because they're not going to need to, you know?
True.
That's just my, like, that's something I've been wanting to say to you for a little while. Like, I just want to make sure that you saw that this is not this, because a lot of times people get like that, where they lose a ton of weight, and then all of a sudden the weight's lost. Like, who the fuck am I? What the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
You know?
It really messes with, like, your head, because you see so much success, and then you stop seeing it and you think, okay, what did I do wrong? What happened? What's going on? And you just don't understand that it just takes time. It's not a thing that just continually happens every day.
Right. Exactly. And I think it's really important for you to, like, start taking steps towards that. Like, as long as you're having, this is one of the things we tell our clients, as long as you're having healthy life endeavors, like, and you're self-actualized, and you seem to be very self-actualized. You know when you're not supposed to eat something. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, you do. But as long as you're very self-actualized, and you have healthy endeavors, weight loss will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Like, it really will. I mean, if if you can look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I didn't overeat this week, I didn't do whatever. If you had a healthy week, that is one healthier week than you ever had before. But if you look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I really kind of fucked up this week, then maybe it's time to tighten up your fucking reins. But you can't always put this pressure on yourself of, constantly being that dude,
Yeah. No, you're right. 100%.
And I think you're well in there, but that's, like, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is, like, here, I tell you what, here another 40 pounds. I mean, because the smaller, like, when you're 700 pounds, you get to 600 pounds, you're still 600 pounds.
Yeah.
When you go to 600 to 450, you're still 450 pounds. You're still very much, like,
you're still obese. Like, listen, you're just still obese.
Travel's hard, fitting, restaurants still hard, everything like that's still hard, right? But when you get to,
I celebrate when I can sit in a booth without having to move the table, which is not all the time, but I'm like, I mean, for a while, people don't understand there's very small things that bigger people just don't, like. My friends, it still happens sometimes. It doesn't happen as often. They'll be like, hey, we're at the restaurant. Is a booth okay? Normally, for a normal person, who gives a shit where you're sitting? You're good. But, like, I would need to be like, hey, let me see the booth. Now, they most of the time fit pretty well. But, I mean, there's very small things that people that are small just don't understand, or are issues for bigger people. Like, and those things are stopping.
On that subject, there's a huge portion of the fat acceptance community that talks about, like, how that's discrimination. Do you think that's discrimination?
No, I don't think. Listen, you can't. It doesn't matter what you do in the world. You can never please anyone. And there's certain things to where, like, restaurants only have a certain amount of size. They want to fit as many tables and booths as possible. I mean, listen, there are some. I mean, I'm not going to go into someone's house and their bathroom door is only 2 feet wide and be like, wow, you must really be a big piece of shit because your door's not big enough for me and I'm fat. No, like, if their toilet's in a little hideaway wall, I don't think that's, it's whatever. Like, there are certain things where I think that are stupid because I was bigger, but those are only issues I see because I'm that big. No one is building their restaurant thinking, well, if I get a lot of fat ass people in here, I hope they can sit at all these places. And that's just me being, like, real. You can't please everyone, and no one is going to look at everything from every point of view. you have your point of view from your perspective because it's you personally.
Yeah.
And they make tables and chairs. Now, if a big guy goes in there and he sits in that chair and it breaks, I do have kind of a thing that was like, is that a shitty chair? I mean, he may have been so big that it just couldn't hold him, and that's a shitty thing to understand. But if you're gonna have chairs, I would think maybe you should have some pretty strong ones. But
because the last thing you want is to hit the floor in your restaurant because you call your order.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I wanted to get your input on that.
I may have lived a life of being like really big, and at one point when I was in that world, I may see it a certain way, but from being in it and now looking outside in, I definitely don't think that, certain thing, if you're really big and you have a health issue, maybe you use a handicap tag on your car, on your truck or your car. I don't necessarily think you need one. I drive my father's truck and I have a handicap tag on there, but personally, I make sure I don't take one. I don't park in a handicap spot unless, I will admit, if the place is empty, I may. But if it's a movie theater or a mall, or I try to park. Like today, I went to see my aunt at the hospital. I parked almost 75 yards from the hospital to make sure I have to walk up, and there were 9 open handicap parking spots. But I don't want to take them because there was a time where I was like, forget this, we're definitely taking this spot. But I want to, get my steps in. I want to walk a little further. I don't hate, traveling. I don't hate moving my body as much as I did. So I enjoy that little extra time.
Well, man, we're a little over an hour here, and I try to keep these to an hour. But dude, I got to tell you, it's been awesome talking to you. It really has.
I appreciate it.
I'm looking at this very seriously, and I'll make sure, I'll send you a message. I'll make sure you have the dates. We're going to be up there, and we'll get with Amanda and Amy and see when everybody can have dinner and stuff like that. But dude, I am very, very, very proud to say that even though I thought I really did, I was like, he's probably going to regain the weight back.
No,
I'm really happy to admit that I was fucking wrong.
Yeah, listen, I'm happy to prove you wrong. I mean, if there's anything, I'm really happy with the results. I'm happy that things have gone as well as they have. I understand people have a stereotypical opinion of people being overweight, and even with the surgery, I've known people to get the surgery and not lose weight. I'm happy to have not been one of those people and have it could turn out as well as I have. And I'm really grateful to have this opportunity and this chance.
And if you have, you know how to communicate with me. I just want to make sure this is a public offer, okay? If you ever have issues where you think I can help you out, whether it comes to fitness or anything like that, dude, always have no qualms about reaching out to me and asking me, okay?
Yeah.
Right, so, and for all of you tuning in, thank you very much. The comment section looked to be pretty fucking nice, so thank you, motherfuckers. It's kind of awesome. So I appreciate all you fuckers. And Casey, again, tell them where they can find you if you want them to follow you. If not, tell them to fuck off.
So it's pretty much on Instagram and Twitter, and I think I have a Facebook page all under Casey King _FBTT. That's Family by the Ton, but shortened. And it's Casey King, CASEYKING _. And there's a YouTube channel as well under the same name. I'm really not that hard to find. I do stream on Twitch and stuff, but I don't promote that because I just don't do it often enough to really garner an audience. But Facebook, Instagram.
What platform do you play on?
I play on Twitch. I just play on an Xbox because I don't have a PC. I mean, I have a laptop, but it's not like a gaming thing really.
I'm a PS4 guy, so.
Well, I know I actually it's funny. I got a PS4 for Black Friday because it was just a deal. It was $200 for a console and 3 games. I still haven't even hooked up. It's in the box. It's still in the box, but I was like, man, $200 for this? I'm not turning it down. So I'll be on PS4 soon. But again, it's still in the box under the tree. I haven't even opened it. But yeah, Casey King _FBTT. Everything: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
We'll definitely hook up on PS4. Casey,
yeah, man, for sure.
Very much, man. Appreciate it. And for all you people watching, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.